I'm a day late. That's all right.
The more we do with our phones,
Why not?
the more network quality
Why shouldn't I
matters.
get complacent? You guys have a service job that makes sure it goes up forever,
That
even if
means the
it's
best
over a
experience in
5-year
calls,
swing.
texts, and data
See,
usage of
nah,
any
you
new
say
carrier
one
with
wave
your customers.
function, Raylight and Jeans, or Maxwell, one wave function. I mean, that'd be specifically this map right here. This is Brown Boy. Your asses are in trouble now. Watch out.
Michael Farr, Chief Market Strategist for High Tower Advisors, founder of Farr Miller and Washington.
What you are looking at with this question is specifically this wave function right here. One cyclical wave function, and I shouldn't be complacent. I mean, I should be in the way that it's superposition. You as an investor, you shouldn't be too worried about this if you hand me money. However, if you are in one of those positions or in the superposition of privately doing one of those vibrations, there you are, 42 Edness, doing the 42 Edness. Can't help it, cannot fight gravity. You will be in your uniform fascist to what it is you do. I mean, obviously. You have to talk about it, and then we'll get into it, other than just said bad words. Don't get complacent. Dynamics is that atmosphere of the sun. Hot. It's hot in the cemetery. And that vibration would correlate the spin of the drunkard walk problem in what you go. And if you get complacent about, well, gravity and field theory will take care of it all, you're probably going to get clipped. Just odds and statistics, that's what you do. Now, some people do that, and you look into the bits and bytes inside of there, a blockchain, gravity, us doing calculus. You would say, well, actually, they're not getting complacent. They're probably grinding. They're probably working a T-number of a bunch of different categories. What am I doing today, tomorrow, the vacation in Boca? Whenever that pops up on the T-numbers, it would be there. And that's the only place in the world it could have ever a fucking been. The island, right? You know, you are on an island. And no crabbies are for dinner tonight. And they'd be like, no, 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 no. I don't want to be eaten. Just sitting there vibrating at you. You know what I mean? And in that way, you shouldn't get complacent. 2 buckets of water, 2 buckets whatever in town is 2 pounds of wheat, 2 pounds of barley. It's like, you can plan for the hurricane, and yeah, the survivalist on a sunny day, probably going to make it. Most of them are going to make it. And then the hurricane comes, and you don't understand why your coffers weren't big enough for wave functions under complacency of that number being gravity. It will clip you. It's going to hurt, and then you factor that as the new gravity because you renormalized it. And then somebody's going to kick you. Well, you can't do that math because the hurricane, and they look at you, no, I can do what I want because I am the storm to the devil. And then I whisper in your ear, I am marshmallow.
So I think you look at those areas that really have not participated in this rally as much, and you still take a look at some of the reopening trades.
And Jordan is your marshmallow today. Fuck. Fuck.
These are companies that make, medical devices, and elective surgeries haven't been happening as much, particularly when COVID had surged through the fall. They pulled back. I think they're probably
Murphy Law on my way through,
as
boss.
You get people saying, I still need a new knee, I still need a pacemaker, I've still got to do these other things and go back.
There's a lot, man. I wish I could tell you this came from one teacher. And it makes Stanford easy.
I think CBS,
obviously.
even though it's had a pretty good year,
still
remains reasonably inexpensive.
But you're gonna have to learn hyperbolic tension from a few different teachers. You're gonna know what a hyperbole is from a math teacher, from a literature perspective, and you make sure that the math is solid. It's like, was that literature really a hyperbole when you do the math?
Facing expensive vitamin